to episode 19 of the Two Honest podcast with me, your host, Abby. I know I say this every single episode, but I cannot believe this is the 19th episode. I am shocked. Stay to the end of the episode to hear the updates on the next episode and where I'm going next. It's super exciting. And, it's time for Two Honest to have a little break and a little refresh. But I'll tell you all about it at the end. And what else have I been up to? So, is anyone else hay fever, killing them? Honestly, it's the worst it's been in ages. My eyes, my nose, my throat... Nothing is helping. Send professional help, please. Thank you. If anyone's got any tips on that, then please share them. This episode this week is all about driving me crazy. And the inspiration for this, I recently got a car, little Clio. I haven't driven properly since I was 17, when I passed my driving test. When I was just 17 years old, just a little baby. And now I'm 26. It's nearly been 10 years. I had 1 year where I drove a few times, but nothing crazy. Getting back in the car has been a bit of a revelation. What? How? I pride myself on being able to multitask, but what? How the hell do I concentrate on the road, concentrate on the pedals, concentrate on the mirrors, change the gear, and the rules of the road? Do you know what I think? I think it's because I overthink too much about what everyone else is doing and not about what I'm doing. Because I just feel like if I do something stupid, so I live there, this massive hill, I did this wheel spin and I thought I was so embarrassed. The car behind of me must have been laughing. Thank God they were a little bit away, so I didn't roll back or whatever. My driving is just not the one, to be honest. Yeah, so I think we'll start by taking it all the way back before I'd even pass my test, of some funny things. So obviously you have to pass a theory test before you pass your driving test, and I went for my first test. I had revised. I'm a little nerd, and yeah, I went in to do the test, and the theory stuff was absolutely fine. I'd been doing those practice questions on the app and it was all great. And then it got to the hazard perception test, and I just second guess myself so much, it's ridiculous. How the hell I have a podcast, I don't know. But there was this one scene I remember so well, and it was from a driver's perspective, obviously, and there was this little lamb that was coming out of the field area, like a fast road, I think, national speed limit or whatever. And there was this little lamb at the side of the road. It had a little broken leg. Oh, it was so cute. And my heart, it pulled at the heartstrings. And I'm not gonna lie, I was too busy reacting like that, oh my God, look at that poor little lamb, that I didn't click when I should have in time. I failed the theory test by 1 mark on the hazard perception. If I hadn't been so nice to that goddamn lamb, I would have passed that test. For God's sake. And this is why, emotions get the better of me, because how could I see that and not react in the way that I did? It was just so tiny and so cute, and it was a little poor broken leg. Not the one. I obviously did eventually pass it. I say eventually. I passed it the second time round. Moving on to my actual driving lessons, I learned to drive with this woman. She was called Heather. She was with the AA. And she was just so lovely, really nice. And she took me to this, what is it? It's like, it was an area where it was quite deserted, so we could practice emergency stop. And she would like pull me to the side and then explain something to me, and then we would practice it in the car. So she was explaining the emergency stop to me, and where she'd asked me to pull over, behind her head was like a field with a few horses in, and this horse came up. It was behind a fence, behind her head. Oh my god, I have never seen a horse's penis before, but that is huge. What the hell? I urge you, if you have not ever seen such a thing, you should Google it. Well, maybe not Google it. I'll just tell you, it was flipping huge, like the biggest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god. Yeah, it put me off the emergency stop, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't concentrate on what she was saying because there's this massive horse penis behind her head. What? That is one of those things where it could only happen to me. My friends say this all the time. There's so many things that would only ever happen to me. I guess it's the purpose of this podcast. I've just got a lot to say, you know? Do you know what I recently had a thought about? Is that, isn't it crazy that my little Clio, it's a Renault Clio, just for anyone interested, but her name is Clio. Because, you know, everyone names their cars, don't they? But don't you think it's crazy that my little Clio can fit on the same road as a double-decker bus? Like, it blows my actual mind. Just, yeah. What the hell? Let's go to my Cheer Up Tuesday. Oh, this is a good one for anyone who, you know, doesn't have confidence in driving. Again, me. I've been watching a few YouTube videos on people driving, and do you know what? It's actually quite therapeutic, weirdly. And also, how much of a lifesaver are those little blind spot mirrors? I learned to drive with them on, so I don't know if it's just because I was used to it because of that, or I don't know. I asked a few friends about their driving experiences and if they did anything embarrassing with their driving instructor, etc, etc. And you know what? You guys delivered. So I'm gonna just tell you about a couple of these stories. And we can all laugh together because, you know, time's moved on now. You know, no one is harmed in any of the stories, so, you know, I feel like it's kind of acceptable to laugh. Everybody needs a little laugh every now and again. Especially now the crap weather's coming this week. I can feel it. It's meant to be really good for the next couple of days and then like raining so much the next, you know, week. I don't know if you can hear this background noise, but I am articulating everything with my hands for some reason. I don't know what that is about. I don't know where that's come from. But anyway, the first little tiny story is one time I grabbed the instructor's leg instead of the gear stick. Oh, that's so embarrassing. I've heard of people like grabbing the handbrake instead of the gear stick, but never the instructor's leg. Oh, that must have been mortifying. I would have just quit, I think. Yeah, I would have just quit. I once had a massive nosebleed whilst on a lesson. When I got home and my mum answered the door, she had a major panic wondering what had happened on my lesson and had to give the instructor a bowl of water and a sponge to clean his car with. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. Could you imagine? Do you know, actually, this does remind me of a pretty funny story. So I went on a school trip. This is like, must be primary school now. One of those like residential trips. Can you believe those even happen? Like, how could I be trusted? Anyway, we went go-karting and we had these massive helmets on with the protected front, so, you know, there was a transparent layer. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, I was just going around on the track. I didn't do anything. It must have been the heat from the helmet, but I had a nosebleed inside the helmet, but I couldn't see. I couldn't take it off. I was freaking out. I think it was my first ever nosebleed, you know. Oh my God, I thought going blind. Yeah, that was just not a good look. So crazy. You always get nosebleeds at the most unexpected times. It's so weird. Someone sent me a story. I was taking my other half to work, and as he started early morning, I didn't see the point of getting dressed, so just slung on my dressing gown. As I was driving back, my tyre blew. Oh my God. And she's in her dressing gown. I had to call the mechanic, who said he would come to me and tow me to the tyre centre. It was then that I remembered I was only wearing my dressing gown. Like, that's it. Like, no pyjamas. Oh my God. This gets worse. I managed to call my teenage daughter, who rode her bike to me and brought me some clothes. Luckily, she arrived before the mechanic. Oh my God. Thank God. Could you imagine? Especially if she had no pyjamas on underneath. No, this is a lesson to everybody. Just always make sure you've got clothes on. Like, you know. Okay, this one's from my friend. I was on autopilot going to work. I had to stop at a traffic light, but it was behind a van. When the green light came on, I followed the van and realised I was on the wrong side of the cone. The van contained workmen brought to work on the road fault at the side, and I had joined them. I was mortified and had to reverse back to get out the cones while they all stood around laughing. Oh, that's embarrassing. That is bad. Do you know what? Under those circumstances, I would be terrible. Like, I would be hitting every cone. I just don't know. This is the final story. The driving instructor told me that I was very close to taking the test, but I needed to stop getting distracted by dogs. Oh my God. Oh, just one more. Because there was this one time that I was texting my driving instructor, and you know when you're young and you're like sending a million kisses, I once accidentally texted her with like 100 kisses. It was so embarrassing. Just had to not even acknowledge it. I mean, it was way back when. It's so funny how I remember just these random snippets of life. You know what I mean? Okay, time for my favourite part of the podcast, which is when I find a review which is super honest regarding the topic that I've chosen for the week. And obviously this week it's driving, and you know, this guy wants to sell his car. Are you ready for this? I don't think you are. Here we go. For sale, this absolute parcel of shit. 55 plate Saab 93 diesel, basically a Vectra in a Swedish wig. Off to a good start. Also, I don't know if I'm pronouncing Saab right. Is that how you say it? Saab? Who knows? Anyway. Engine and gearbox are good. Runs like a smackhead with a stolen skybox and a block of cheese under his arm. And it's still showing tax, so you won't get pulled when you're out and about selling Sputnik to kids wearing man bags. All of the lights work, as you can see, and it looks like a previous owner washed it every day with a fucking brick. No time wasters, serious buyers only, ideal cheap family car at £695. If you can handle your wife leaving you for a crackhead on a mountain bike and your kids denying you as their father when you drop them off at school in the pile of shit, part exchange welcome. Oh god. I wonder if anyone actually bought that. Anyway. What? Oh my god. What a day. I hope that review cheered up your day. So, next week marks the 20th episode of the Two Honeys podcast. And, I think the podcast is great. I love doing it. But I'm just taking a little break for after the next episode. So, the next week's episode will be like, we're taking a break kind of episode. So I'll be taking a little break and we will come back with season 2 more refreshed than ever, and got some good stuff got in the pipeline that I'm thinking of, which I think you'll love. And in the meantime, just catch up on all your favourite episodes, Yeah. Let's see what the next week's episode has in store. And as always, if you want to take part, if you want to tell me your funny stories, then please do. You know how much I love them. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to you next time for the finale of season 1. Wow! Go crazy, go crazy. Have a nice week. Bye.